And this is Mountain News at 6. Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The sad news first, 20 more people have died from COVID-19 in the Bluegrass, the highest one-day death toll so far. Governor Beshear also announced 164 new cases of the virus. That takes the number of cases in Kentucky now past 8,000. The governor also announced new Walmart testing locations across the state, including London and Pikeville. And some other things he announced can reopen on June 8th, and those include outdoor attractions. Of course, the limit on the number of people at those, but some outdoor attractions and libraries can open on June 8th. I know a lot of people have been wondering about libraries, so the date now for that is June 8th. Of course, tomorrow is a big day. Retail stores can open across the state again tomorrow, and there's also new guidelines for funeral homes starting tomorrow. Now, we'll have more on COVID-19 a little later, but first we want to talk about the ongoing flood threat. High water issues have already been a problem in some areas today, and more rain is expected through tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel has the latest on this severe weather alert day. Paige?
Yeah, Steve, the severe weather alert day definitely going to continue possibly throughout the day on your Wednesday, as we are going to continue to track this same system that will just not stop bringing rain into our area. First, we'll take you to radar, where we are getting just a slight break, at least from the heavy rain. Some pockets of heavy rain are definitely possible. It looks like Hardland might be getting hit pretty hard with some rain, but they haven't seen that much, so they are okay. So some lighter scattered showers across the area, but more heavy showers expected heading into tonight and a little bit into your Wednesday. We do have a lot of flood warnings out. These are aerial flood warnings, basically from Rowan County, Estill, Powell, down into parts of Laurel, Jackson County, two of our counties that definitely have got hit hard today. These go through about the evening hours. Some will expire as early as 8 o'clock, and some will continue until about 11:30 tonight. They honestly keep kind of getting extended, so we'll keep an eye on that heading into the next couple of hours. Here are rainfall totals from the past 48 hours. Somerset, 4.26 inches. They definitely have seen a lot of rain. Jackson County, very close to 4 inches, a little over 3.5 in Boonville. Rowan County, right there near 3 inches, and near 3 inches in Barberville and Whitley City. However, you can see Jackson only about 1.5 inches, but more rain's on the way for some of our further eastern counties, which is why that flash flood watch was extended until 8 a.m. Wednesday for some of our counties. A few of our counties are in this flash flood watch now until 8 a.m. on your Thursday. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, Paige, thank you. Today, flooding swamped cars and prompted water rescues in Jackson County as streams and rivers overflowed. WYMT's Connor James drove through the county earlier and talked with folks about the damage.
Tuesday morning, this was a sight becoming more common. Streets and roads in Jackson County saw similar situations.
You know, I know we was expecting quite a bit of rain, but I don't think anybody expected it to be like this.
Judge Executive Shane Gabbard says county crews and others here have been busy. Heavy rain downed trees, knocked out power, and prompted water rescues.
We could have lost a couple of people here today if situation had went the other direction.
Here at this church and thrift shop, the flooding looks bad, but the damage thankfully isn't.
No water's gotten into any of the church or our apartment or the attic. It's all been exterior.
We talked to Becky and Harold Nixon during a break in the storm. They have lived here for a little less than a year as pastoral associates at St. Paul's Catholic Mission in McKee.
We were going to open up.
We are planning on reopening tomorrow. That has been postponed till next week.
Their thrift store surrounded by water, the parking lot submerged, but on the bright side, they say the water Tuesday afternoon did seem to be going down.
I mean, it's just, we've got a forecast for rain all week, so I'm just really thankful the water's going down right now, because it'll probably come up a little bit more.
As many here are just hoping it continues to recede. In Jackson County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Crews are out and about in the county monitoring any high water situations. They add, you should turn around and do not drive through high water. Well, here's what it looked like earlier in Powell County. The water even came close to the Mountain Parkway at one point. Roads in Clay City that usually flood last were getting hit first. By around 10 a.m., crews closed multiple roads, most of them near the Red River. This tends to be the case with flooding through Powell County as the river spills out of its banks and onto nearby roads.
anytime we see water come up in the eastern end of the county, we realize it's eventually going to make its way to the western end of the county. The more flood-prone areas of Clay City usually receive it 24 hours or so after the fact.
As of right now, crews say there have not been any water rescues in that area. They say most people seem to be taking the proper precautions. Another hard-hit area in the mountains is Laurel County. At least one driver found themselves trapped by high water. WYMT's Tommy Poole talked to first responders.
Yeah, the sights behind me today is something that crews in the Laurel County area have been struggling with all day long. Water over the roadways.
Downed trees and power lines have been a problem for drivers along with high water. Emergency crews like Stevens Towing and Campground Fire Department have been busy trying to clear roadways and make water rescues. One car got stuck in the water Tuesday morning, prompting a rescue call for crews.
It's an easy mistake to make, but when the water gets so high, you don't really realize the force of it. And about 15 inches of water, it can get up in your exhaust and it could cause your motor to stall. And once your motor stalls, it causes your car to shut off, and that's where you get in trouble.
Don Hearn also said with these back roads, people travel them so frequent that they do know the roads and they feel like they can make it. However, that does not tell you how deep the water is, and that could still get you in trouble. So always, if you see water, turn around and don't drown. Reporting in Laurel County, Tommy Poole, WYMT Mountain News.
With some river levels continuing to rise and more rain in the forecast, crews are preparing for a busy couple of days. And of course, we'll keep you updated, and Paige will have more on the warnings and watches coming up in just a few minutes. Now to other news. A shooting last night sent one man to the hospital and another to jail. Investigators in Floyd County arrested Stephen Moore today. He faces a charge of first-degree assault and being a convicted felon in possession of a gun. Police found the victim, Tyler Ousley, at Pikeville Medical Center with a gunshot wound to the back. He is expected to survive. State police do not know what led to the shooting. One man is dead in Mingo County, West Virginia, and one of his suspected murderers is still on the run. John Jackson was killed Saturday just across the Kentucky border in Williamson after police say he was beaten and stabbed before left to burn in an apartment complex. James Church and Charles Chuck Jarvis have both been arrested in connection with the murder, but police are still searching for a third person they believe to be involved. Jackson's family says they are just hoping for justice.
John did not deserve this, I mean, just in no way should anyone deserve to be brutally taken out like that. And we want these guys to get the extreme punishment.
Messer said his family is still in shock. We will have more from them coming up tonight at 11. Kentucky school superintendents are tasked with having multiple options on the board to start the next school year, looking at July, an early start, August, on time, and even after Labor Day, a late start. And there are complications all around. WYMT's Will Puckett talked with two superintendents today and has more.
For Corbin Independent Superintendent David Cox, his stress levels these days are a little high.
Well, certainly there's a bit of stress involved. I hate it right now. My main thought right now are for our seniors.
Those feelings are echoed across eastern Kentucky to Tom Cochran, the superintendent of Johnson County Schools.
We want to make sure that our kids are safe and our staff are safe. That's our number one priority.
They are left working with their other district personnel, trying to figure out what 3 different starting options would look like for them.
The first option for us is not realistic. We have had planned all year long and been doing construction.
The same goes for Corbin. The July start date just for both is not feasible.
What we're being asked to do, through no fault of anybody's, but what we're being asked to do is prepare for multiple scenarios and try to accommodate students and staff in the safest, most efficient way that we can, not knowing what all the game rules are at this point.
Corbin with 3,000 and Johnson with 3,400 students. Both are just awaiting more guidance.
A lot of worry with the guidance that's going to come out next week from public health as far as the PPE. And for me specifically, the face masks are of a big concern.
In the meantime, they hope it ends with students in schools to gain their best learning.
No matter how well we do, in this virtual setting, nothing replaces a teacher in the classroom. You can't replace that, and I'll go to my grave believing that.
While also staying safe. Will Puckett, WYMT Mountain News.
They expect more guidance to come out next week that will better steer schools towards which option they will need to take. With the state reopening in phases today, ARH announced new visitation guidelines. They will now allow one person to visit a patient at a time, and that visitor will also undergo a new series of procedures, a temperature check, screen for COVID-19 symptoms, and they must wear a mask. While some may say these new restrictions seem harsh, ARH Chief Medical Officer Dr. Maria Brayman says they are necessary.
We have to take into consideration not only the patient, who we have to limit exposure to possible COVID-19. We have to also be concerned for our staff, as well as all of our community members. And we are still in the midst of a pandemic.
There are also new visitation hours and other restrictions on who can be a visitor. WYMT's Lacey Roberts will have more on those restrictions tonight at 11. Tomorrow, COVID-19 testing will begin at the Pineville Community Health Center from 11 until 5. This testing is by appointment only, but you can be tested without symptoms. After tomorrow, testing will be available Mondays and Fridays from 11 until 5 and Saturdays from 10 until 2.
And we didn't want to wait too long, especially now that Bell County has its first positive case. So we are kicking it off tomorrow. And so far we've got 12 patients that have scheduled for tomorrow. We have another 8 on Friday and 2 on Saturday.
The phone number to schedule an appointment is 606-654-4693. Primary Care and Hazard has made some big changes to its drive-through clinics. They have started consolidating the tents and have added 2 trailers. These trailers have 2 exam rooms in them, as well as office space for the nurses. They can now do almost everything in their drive-through clinic except for x-rays and ultrasounds.
We can do minor procedures. We can actually give the injections. We're able to do some maybe eye exams, things like that, in a more controlled environment.
No appointments are necessary for the drive-through clinic. They are open every day of the week. People who have needed a new driver's license or ID have not had many options during the past 2 months, but that changed today with the opening of the driver's license office at the State Transportation Cabinet Building in Frankfort. The center is open for replacing lost or stolen IDs, people relocating from Kentucky from another state, or who need an ID for employment purposes. And it is the only place in the state. As others reopen, you will notice plenty of changes.
One of the things is you'll notice our employees are all going to be wearing masks. We are also asking the public if they have a mask to wear one when they come in. We'll be doing on-site temperature checks.
Transportation officials say the Frankfort office is not for renewing expired licenses unless the license expired before March 18th. Any expirations after that date have been extended 90 days. Along with retail businesses opening this week, the Red River Gorge is too. The Daniel Boone National Forest is opening the Red River Gorge and Redbird Crest-Off Highway Vehicle Trail System on Friday. The previous opening date was June 3rd. Officials say they moved it up after Governor Beshear lifted the travel ban. Most day-use sites like picnic areas and shooting ranges will still remain closed until June 3rd.
We're getting a slight break from the rain, but we are still tracking heavy rain moving into tonight and into your Wednesday. I'll have a look at that forecast coming up.
And after weather, former University of Kentucky cheerleaders sound off on allegations coaches failed to oversee the team.